He always wanted to make sure they know Kobe Bryant was in the building.
Full of confidence, I'm strong.
Kobe was the high wire who took your breath away.
Kobe's a really mysterious guy.
He's so private, he keeps to himself.
He was a young man who was very lonely.
Kobe got into it with Shaq, and Shaq slapped him.
Why was Kobe rushing into this? Why was he marrying someone so young?
If Kobe Bryant is convicted of rape, he could spend the rest of his life behind bars.
No one's ever going to look at him the same way again.
If I could just turn back the hands of time.
The dream of being one of from life's ambition, resting the stars. The public
July 6, 2003. The sports world was rocked when news broke that wholesome NBA superstar Kobe Bryant was arrested for sexual assault.
Hearing those allegations, it messed me up. Like, no, that can't be true. It can't be. I'm not Kobe. He's not a monster.
This is real and sinister. It supersedes anything that happens in basketball.
We pray for Kobe, we pray for the young lady. But we all should understand that their lives will be changed forever with this.
The life of this sports icon revolved around basketball from the very beginning. Kobe's father, Joe Bryant, was something of a legend on the Philadelphia hoop scene.
In Philly ball, they were very nickname prone. It was known as Jelly Bean because he was such a carefree kind of guy.
In 1976, Joe Jelly Bean Bryant went pro. He signed with the Philadelphia 76ers.
Me and Jelly Bean, we was all rookies. When I came into the league, if you made $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, you was making all the money in the world.
The NBA paycheck allowed Joe, his wife Pam, and 2 daughters to live comfortably in Wynwood, an upscale suburb of Philadelphia. On August 23, 1978, Kobe Bean Bryant was born.
Kobe is named after a restaurant, the Kobe Steakhouse in King of Prussia.
In 1983, Joe ended his NBA career with the Houston Rockets. Next stop, Rieti, Italy, and the Italian Pro Basketball League.
The Bryants found themselves as strangers in a strange land.
They're, African Americans from Philadelphia living overseas, so I think that bound them together even tighter.
While living in Europe, young Kobe learned to speak Italian fluently. He also began his romance with basketball.
It was a total love affair. It's his life, his destiny. He thought he was going to be an NBA star from like the time he was 5 years old.
He would go to practice with his father, and he would shoot on the sidelines.
Off the court, Kobe spent hours analyzing the moves of NBA stars.
His grandparents used to send Kobe videotapes of American games. He'd watch them over and over and study them.
Kobe idolized a lot of different ballers. He wanted his hand like Magic's. He wanted his attacking game like Mike's. He wanted his desire like Dr. J. He wanted his jump shot like Larry Bird. He wanted to be a big guard like his father.
But in November 1991, 13-year-old Kobe got a cold dose of reality when one of his heroes made a shocking revelation.
Because of the HIV virus that I have attained, I will have to retire from the Lakers.
When Magic announced that he was HIV positive, that hit me in my heart. I was sad for about 2 straight weeks. I can't get over it.
So this very somber lesson in the excesses of sexual behavior hit Kobe right in those formative years.
A few months later, Jelly Bean decided to hang up his jersey.
Joe Bryant's wonderful 16-year playing career was over. It had left the family very wealthy, and it was time to come home.
The Bryant family moved back to their house in Wynwood, Pennsylvania. In the fall of 1992, Kobe enrolled at the local high school.
Lower Marion High School is mostly white school, highly Jewish school.
Lower Marion is the main line of Philadelphia, and that's where the old money has always lived. There's not a lot of blacks out that way.
14-year-old Kobe had a tough time adjusting to life in the States.
He was very quiet and reserved. Some of that was, a hesitancy with the language.
He could not get slang for the life of him.
We used to pick on him because he used to just stick with his sisters, and the way they dressed, the way they acted was just totally different than what we were used to.
But Kobe wasn't shy on the court. and easily made the high school basketball team. Still, Bryant's teammates often tried messing with him.
And, I was like, let me see what he got. I'm from New York. Let's see if we can rough him up a little, And right away, I knew it was like, okay, he's a real deal.
Kobe was the real deal, and he trained relentlessly to improve his game.
After we went 3 hours of practicing, he'll go back in the gym, work out. It was like eat, drink, sleep, basketball.
Meanwhile, Kobe was learning to embrace his African-American roots.
I participated in getting him down with the urban culture. He was getting into hip-hop music, but he had missed like the 80s. So we went back and we researched what hip-hop really was made out of.
The high school baller even joined a rap group.
We had a group by the name of Chisaw. We was rhyming and everything. Number 8, who we called the 8 Man, Kobe One Kenobi.
Una spada vera, sincera, bella interna, che roccia, Prada, Donatella.
Kobe the rapper, he needs to stick with basketball.
He did. By the end of Kobe's junior year, his stats were astounding. With his power dunks and high-flying acrobatics, Bryant averaged 31 points per game.
Every game, you see something new from him. A behind-the-back pass, or split 2 people and did a reverse jam, or jumped from the free throw line, or had a fast break and did a 360. They always wanted to make sure they know, Kobe Bryant was in the building.
The star athlete was popular with the ladies, but Kobe kept his priorities in order. He often told classmates, "My girlfriend is basketball."
Kobe dated some, but never really had a serious relationship.
Bryant was determined to take pro basketball by storm.
Kobe went to a Janet Jackson concert. I'll never forget it. Kobe called me like, "Yo, Aunt, concert changed my life." I was like, "What you mean?" He's like, "Yo, they going crazy over her. They love her. I want that. They're gonna do that for me too."
Coming up, a kid in a man's world.
I have decided to skip college and take my talent to the NBA.
And later.
I sit here before you guys, embarrassed and ashamed for committing adultery.
In 1995, college coaches and NBA scouts were buzzing about 17-year-old Kobe Bryant. The lanky 6'5" kid didn't grow up on the mean streets of Philly, but he was tough and hungry on the court.
By the time he was a senior at Lower Merion High School, everyone knew who Kobe Bryant was.
Basketball fans came from far and wide to see the boy wonder play.
Kobe Bryant.
When you had to scout tickets for a high school game, there's something really serious going on, and this ticket's going for $100. That's like a rock concert.
It did very much feel like a concert. I remember the first game in Upper Darby, hundreds of people lined up for autographs, hundreds of people.
You would think, Michael Jordan was in the locker room, because that's how long the line was.
Kobe found himself front and center in an all-out recruiting war.
He had an 1100 SAT, above 3.0 GPA.
And with his basketball skills, that meant that any college in America was ready and willing to accept him on athletic scholarship.
He used to come back from the guidance council with like stacks of letters.
He put them under his desk and they would just fall on the floor. There'd be like 30, 35 letters.
In the spring of 1996, the Lower Merion High School team blazed their way to the state playoffs.
On every newspaper and channel, sports channel, coming to see, this one shining star, Kobe.
On March 23rd, the Aces finally took home the state title.
Our senior year was a storybook ending. It was all celebration, it was all smiles, it was all rejoice.
Accolades came pouring in from the local and national press.
Kobe was the player of the year in every magazine, got every award possible.
1 month after the big win, Bryant called a press conference to announce his future plans.
He was so young, but he was acting like, his father already.
He had this worldliness to him and this polish to him. He was wearing a fancy suit. He had the sunglasses perched on the top of his head.
He paused for effect in the press conference, like what he was going to do.
No, I have decided to skip college and take my talent to the NBA.
Kobe's decision sparked controversy and debate.
He was in the first wave of high school kids to, basically become professionals. He was the first relatively small player. The ones who had done it before had almost all been 7-footers.
No 6'6", 180-pound person ever went into a man's world like that.
But size wasn't the only issue.
Philadelphia is a very home team sports town. So when Kobe initially said that he didn't want to play in Philadelphia, that he wanted to go to the Lakers, and that was the only place he would go, Philadelphia got a little ticked by that.
It got ugly, it got dirty, it got vicious, it got personal with the family. Why is his dad and mom allowing this?
Despite the harsh criticism, Kobe's family stood by his decision to turn pro.
They were very aware of the pitfalls, the seductive nature of, where he was going. And I think it was made very clear to Kobe he was not going to do that kind of stuff.
More jaws dropped when Adidas signed the high school phenom to a $10 million contract.
Kobe's shoe deal coming out of high school was fairly unprecedented at that point. He was wedded to a shoe company before he played, which is definitely a strange scenario.
Kobe grabbed headlines again on May 25, 1996, when he went out with teen pop star Brandy.
I had my high school prom coming up, and I didn't have a date, and I happened to see her, and so I asked her to my prom.
Kobe's always had a sense for flair, for the camera, and it turned that prom at Lower Merion into this amazing media event.
2 weeks later, 17-year-old Kobe became the youngest player ever drafted into the NBA. The Charlotte Hornets selected Bryant 13th overall in the first round, but the general manager of the Los Angeles Lakers had other ideas.
Jerry West knew what he wanted and traded Vlade Divac for him.
He had just acquired Shaquille O'Neal as well, who was a free agent coming from the Orlando Magic. And Kobe Bryant, he saw, would eventually be the perfect complement to Shaquille O'Neal.
Kobe signed a 3-year, $3.5 million contract.
The Lakers were going to be one of the top teams, and then everybody else would just have to figure out how they were going to deal with these two guys who were basically going to be the greatest tandem the game had ever seen.
Coming up, the temptations of the NBA.
These women will do anything, anywhere, in a restaurant, bathroom.
In July 1996, Kobe Bryant signed with his dream team, the Los Angeles Lakers. A few weeks later, the 17-year-old rookie and his family left Philadelphia and moved west. Kobe was right where he wanted to be, in the land of big stars and bigger egos. The Bryants purchased a 6-bedroom mansion near the ocean in Pacific Palisades. That summer, Kobe and Brandy dated casually. He even made a guest appearance on her TV show, Moesha.
Brandy sitting right across from me, just looking at me and kind of laughing. I'm just sitting all tight and all cold and nervous, looking at everybody like, man, I hope my lines are funny.
He's done a real good job.
Soon after the episode wrapped, so did the relationship.
They were really seen a lot in the media and stuff. And that was the hindrance for him.
Kobe had way too many things he wanted to accomplish in basketball to be distracted by some wild and raging teenage love affair.
But as it turned out, Kobe's NBA career was put on hold. On September 2nd, Bryant broke his wrist during a street ball game. He was out of commission for 5 weeks.
And that was how hungry and clueless he was, that he would go out and play pickup at Venice. Nobody could believe that when they heard it.
Kobe missed most of the Lakers' training camp.
I came back from the wrist injury and I was able to practice. So it's important that they understand that even though I was 18, I'm coming into the league ready to play.
Bryant was restless to make his professional debut, and on November 3rd, 1996, he got his chance. The 18-year-old became the youngest player in NBA history when the Lakers took on the Minnesota Timberwolves in LA. As usual, the celebrity quotient was high.
The first game I played, Denzel was there, Pamela Anderson. I'm looking in the crowd like, man, y'all coming to watch us play basketball?
But Bryant spent most of the game riding the bench. He played a paltry 6 minutes.
Kobe did take a lot of dumb shots, did take a lot of wild shots, was not very good about throwing the ball to his teammates.
Laker coach Del Harris increased Kobe's court time throughout the season. Still, he remained strictly a role player.
It was frustrating for Kobe initially because not only was he no longer the superstar that he had been in high school, he wasn't even playing.
When Bryant did play, He often put on an awe-inspiring show.
Kobe was the high wire act, the one that, who took your breath away.
Kobe's moves thrilled fans, but his teammates thought the young gun was grandstanding.
Shaquille O'Neal started nicknaming Kobe Showboat because here's this player that's so focused on showboating, he really doesn't understand yet what it takes to win.
Bryant was untamed on the court. Off the court was a different story.
He did not go out and party, and he didn't hang out with guys on the team.
He's the youngest and most innocent of us all. He's so private, that he keeps to himself.
Spent a lot of time reading his Bible, he read a lot.
It was very difficult. All of your teammates, they're older people. They go to clubs. They're sampling that special life that an NBA player can live.
For some players, that special life meant a walk on the wild side.
Temptation, man, it is a dog. There are women available all over the place. There's women out there wall to wall and treetop tall.
These women will do anything, anywhere, in a restaurant, bathroom. Some women just want to be able to say they slept with an athlete.
The girls wanted to just lay with you and play with you. There was always beautiful women everywhere you went, and it was hard, to say no.
I think Kobe was one who said no.
He had a very strong family structure, so I knew he would be okay as far as handling the different side of the NBA.
Shaquille O'Neal, the Lakers' 7'1" center, thought Kobe could use a little advice.
Kobe needed some maturing, and Shaquille first reached out to Kobe.
Now, Kobe, may have been the youngest and the frailest looking, and he didn't want an older brother, and he let Shaquille know it.
Kobe's a really mysterious guy. He doesn't really allow too many people to get on the inside of his whole thing.
It could appear he was kind of aloof, but he wasn't sure how to fit in that early. He tried to fit in the one place he definitely knew how, which was on the court.
On February 8th, 1997, Kobe finally got the chance to strut his stuff when he won the slam dunk contest at All-Star Weekend. Executives with the Coca-Cola Company were impressed. They signed Kobe to a $4 million deal to endorse Sprite.
He scored a lot of points. He's in La La Land, He's, the wonder kid, but he has that sex appeal for the young generation.
In the spring of '97, the Lakers met the Utah Jazz in the conference semifinals. The deciding game of the series went down to the wire. The Lakers were trailing by 1 point, and time was running out.
Kobe Bryant prided himself on taking the big shot, and he took it.
And it didn't work out. He didn't hit anything.
The fans are yelling, air ball, air ball. And it's just a crushing level of noise. And it's on national TV. And it's a tremendous humiliation.
Just like that, the Lakers season was over.
And everybody went nuts, and is this gonna haunt him for the rest of his career?
That summer, Kobe retreated to Philly with his family to lick his wounds. In October 1997, he returned for his second season with the Lakers.
He was still a young player, still fighting for playing time. But he had so much talent. He had all of these moves that he'd studied. He had all of Michael Jordan's moves.
So many moves, in fact, the press dubbed the 19-year-old MJ's heir apparent.
People would always compare him to Michael Jordan, and think for about 5 minutes he found it flattering. And then, he got very tired of it.
Coming up, Kobe's full court press.
Vanessa was just finishing up high school, and he was very smitten with her very quickly.
By late 1997, 19-year-old Kobe Bryant was a favorite among NBA fans. Reporters often compared him to perennial league MVP Michael Jordan. Jordan was hinting at retirement. Could Kobe step into those famous high tops? On February 8th, 1998, Bryant got a chance to prove that he really was the next big thing.
He was a reserve on the Lakers, but the fans voted him as a starting player in the 1998 NBA All-Star Game. There he was, showcased against Michael Jordan.
A lot of people thought this would be Jordan's last All-Star game. Kobe took it on himself to say, hey, that generation's over. It's time for the next level here. And a lot of people got upset with Kobe because of that.
He was arrogant. He was like, yeah, I'm Kobe Bryant, I'm up here and everybody else is down here.
The showdown in New York between the legend and the kid was no contest. Jordan made Bryant eat his words.
Everyone knew that was his day. He ended up with MVP and everything else.
Kobe faced a major backlash for his egotism and selfish style of play.
The alienation from Kobe's teammates grew. He really stayed to himself. He was trying to find his way. He was a young man who was very lonely.
He told me that, a lot of the players went out to clubs and, hung out a lot. But he just said he used to be in the gym all the time or at home watching tapes.
Bryant continued to ride the bench during the second half of the season.
He had such a diminished understanding of what team ball was. He didn't understand, the most rudimentary principle of the NBA, which is kids watch and veterans play.
And those veterans took the Lakers all the way to the playoffs, but the team folded in the stretch.
When it came down to the crunch time, they suffered a series of embarrassing losses to Utah.
In the fall of 1998, an owner-imposed lockout kept players off the court for 3 months. When the Lakers reported back to work in January, things hadn't changed between Kobe and Shaq. They were still butting heads.
They were having informal workouts, and Kobe got into it with Shaq, and Shaq slapped him.
The slap was a physical expression of all that mental frustration and anguish that those veterans on the team felt.
Kobe was trying to get back at him. The other guys had to jump in between them.
The feud continued as league play began. The team performed poorly, and the coach became expendable.
Lakers owner Jerry Buss decided that it was time to fire Del Harris, and the team was turned over to Kurt Rambis, who had been a very popular Laker, but had never been a head coach.
They also brought in Dennis Rodman, who had played on 5 championship teams, but adding Dennis Rodman to any mix is certainly not going to make it more stable.
In fact, the situation was pure chaos. Still, the Lakers advanced to the playoffs. In the spring of 1999, they went toe-to-toe with the San Antonio Spurs. It was a short series.
And Spurs stepped up and swept the Lakers 4-0 in the wake. Heads rolled. The Lakers decided to replace Kurt Rambis because they wanted the kind of coach who was proven and who could solve the personality differences.
53-year-old Phil Jackson was that kind of coach. From 1991 to 1998, Jackson led Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls to 6 NBA titles.
Phil Jackson is arguably the greatest coach in NBA history. He was the ideal choice because he had credibility as well as his methodology.
He focused a lot on the cerebral aspects of the game as much as the physical.
Jackson signed with the Lakers in June 1999. His first order of business, ease the tension between Bryant and O'Neal.
He had enough patience to realize this wasn't going to be something that would happen instantaneously.
I'm a little bit frazzled. There's a lot of energy, disconnected energy. We got to get focused.
Meanwhile, Bryant focused on his game, on and off the court. In November, while visiting the set of a video shoot for rapper Snoop Dogg, Kobe met model Vanessa Lane.
Vanessa was 17 when Kobe met her. Kobe was 21. He hadn't really had a serious relationship, and he was very smitten with her very quickly.
There was so much attention, she had to eventually drop out of high school because in Lakerland, this was big news.
And the couple continued to make news as the NBA playoffs got underway in May 2000. After 6 months of dating, Kobe proposed marriage.
The coaches were a little concerned because they perceived Vanessa Lane to be someone who could be occasionally demanding.
Kobe's parents, Joe and Pam Bryant, weren't thrilled either.
There was a lot of arguing going on with his parents. I think the parents were horrified basically because of the age. The next thing you knew, Joe and Pam had gone back to Philadelphia.
Kobe was hurt by it, and his parents were withdrawing communication from him. There was a rift, and they both struggled.
Coming up, who said there's no place like home?
Being booed in your hometown, in the city that you love.
In spring 2000, 21-year-old Kobe Bryant shocked his teammates and his parents when he popped the question to 18-year-old Vanessa Lane. But wedding plans had to wait. The Lakers were on the hunt for a world championship. That June, the Lakers made it to the NBA Finals. Then in Game 2 against the Indiana Pacers, Kobe went down hard.
It was a bad ankle sprain. He just lay there on the floor just hoping it wasn't going to be a season-ending injury.
Despite the pain, Kobe bounced back to help the Lakers win the NBA title in 5 games.
That was the first time that you could see Kobe had become the guy who can win you championships.
But that fall, Kobe and Shaq continued to battle.
As Derek Fisher said, you know, this is like a marriage gone bad.
Well, Kobe Bryant wanted to be taking his jump shots, and Kobe Bryant wanted the ball, and Kobe Bryant wants his dunks. But the fact remains that Shaquille O'Neal is the man Lakers run their offense through. And so it was frustrating for him that he has to share the ball with Shaquille O'Neal.
Kobe was also at odds with the coach known as the Zen Master.
He clashed with Phil Jackson, and Phil Jackson, known for using the press to achieve his ends, had even threatened Kobe with being traded.
Despite the beef, Ronald McDonald wanted Kobe on his team. In February 2001, execs with the fast food chain signed Kobe to a $10 million endorsement deal.
Like the burger, I'm full of energy, confidence, I'm strong.
Kobe Bryant getting involved in McDonald's, that shows you that you've transcended sport, transcended race, and you're basically a guy that could sell anything to Middle America.
But there was nothing Middle America about Bryant's wedding. On April 18th, 22-year-old Kobe married 18-year-old Vanessa Lane at St. Edward's Catholic Church in Dana Point, California. Kobe's family and teammates did not attend.
Most people naturally thought, Kobe's parents think he shouldn't be getting married, then he probably shouldn't be getting married. Why was Kobe rushing into this? Why was he marrying someone so young?
2 months later, Kobe added a second championship ring to his collection when the Lakers defeated the 76ers in the 2001 NBA Finals.
This is tremendous. You know, we work a long time and a lot of months to get to this point.
Over the summer, Kobe purchased a $4 million mansion in Newport Beach. When he reported to training camp that fall, his relationship with Shaq took a positive turn.
Whatever resentments had been there before, I think now they had 2 championships under their belts. They realized that they were good for each other.
Kobe and Shaq finally warmed up to each other. But fans in Philly gave Bryant the cold shoulder at the 2002 All-Star game.
Philadelphia really began to kind of push him away as their, hometown boy.
Philadelphia sports fans are certainly a unique breed. I mean, I know at Eagles games they threw snowballs at Santa Claus, and if they don't like Santa Claus, they're not going to like Kobe.
When he started firing them up in this All-Star game, they just regarded him as a Laker who was showing off and really began booing him.
Being booed in your hometown, in the city that you love. You know what I mean? This is the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia.
It really hurt him. It cut him to the core.
Kobe rebounded. The Lakers advanced again to the playoffs, thinking three-peat all the way.
They squashed the New Jersey Nets in the championship series. This was a huge thing, to win 3 straight championships.
Then more good news. Kobe's wife, Vanessa, was pregnant. On January 19, 2003, 3 months into the new season, the couple became parents.
With the birth of his daughter, Kobe Bryant was absolutely aglow, and it was the heart of what he wanted.
Natalia Diamante Bryant also worked wonders to help repair the fractured relationship between Bryant and his parents.
As the 2003 season came to a close, they resumed communication.
By the spring of 2003, the Lakers were on a quest to capture their 4th straight title. But Shaq was plagued by injuries, forcing Kobe to kick up his play another notch.
That was his chance to show that he was as important to this team as Shaq was.
And when Shaquille O'Neal goes down and Kobe Bryant's scoring all those points and he's lighting up every team in the league, the Lakers were still losing.
Dreams of another championship were crushed when the San Antonio Spurs booted the Lakers out of the playoff race.
Despite Kobe's brilliance, Shaquille is still the mainstay of that team.
And I think that was probably painful for him to swallow.
But Kobe wasn't down for long. In June, Nike signed Bryant to a $40 million endorsement deal. Company execs also had their sights on 18-year-old LeBron James, a high school phenom from Akron, Ohio. In a record-shattering deal, James scored a contract more than twice that of Kobe's.
Here he is, set for life before he even not only plays an NBA game, but before he gets drafted, which is insane.
Kobe was very much offended by the fact that He got a $40 million contract from Nike, and LeBron James got a $90 million contract.
LeBron James was big news, but Kobe Bryant was about to steal back the spotlight. On June 30th, 2003, Kobe boarded a plane for Colorado to undergo knee surgery. It would be a very fateful trip. Coming up.
I didn't force her to do anything against her will.
By the summer of 2003, 24-year-old Kobe Bryant had 3 championship rings, a beautiful wife, and a new daughter. But when Bryant left LA for a knee operation, his seemingly perfect life took a radical turn. On June 30th, Kobe and his entourage arrived at the Lodge and Spa at Cordillera in Edwards, Colorado.
He was checking into the hotel around 10 p.m. at night, and he noticed this young lady working at the front desk.
The woman was a 19-year-old blonde college student who worked as a concierge at the posh hotel. According to police reports, the following events allegedly transpired over the next 24 hours.
Kobe had the private tour with her. They were flirting, and he said, "Come up to my room later." And she did come up to his room.
The woman and Kobe were reportedly alone in his suite for 20 minutes to an hour.
What's the girl doing up that late coming to his room? What's he doing entertaining in his room? He's a married man. Where was his bodyguard?
Kobe Bryant's bodyguards were not in the room next door, but in fact on a different floor in the hotel.
The next morning, Bryant went to the Stedman Hawkins Clinic to undergo knee surgery. Meanwhile, the young woman called the Eagle County Sheriff's Department. She told police that Bryant sexually assaulted her.
They came and took a statement from her at her home.
And then, after that, they went down to the police station and videotaped her testimony.
She was taken to the hospital and given a rape kit, which means that she was given a thorough exam. They have photographs of a bruise on her face, and they have photographs of her vaginal area with lacerations.
So there is the implication that by force he kept her from leaving the room and then engaged in sexual intercourse.
On the other end of town, Kobe returned to the lodge at 2 p.m. following outpatient surgery. Then, shortly before midnight, he received some unexpected visitors.
The detectives showed up at the lodge to interview him and collect evidence.
What they wanted from him was DNA.
At 2:30 a.m. on July 2nd, Bryant voluntarily accompanied police to Valley View Hospital in Glenwood Springs. Samples of his DNA were taken.
After that, he flew back home to California. He confronted his wife about it, and obviously she wasn't happy about it.
And the bad news kept coming. On July 3rd, Kobe learned that a warrant had been issued for his arrest.
He and Vanessa, it must have been a painful flight, they hopped on a private plane and went to Eagle, Colorado. At that point, Kobe was taken to the jail, and he was processed, and he got out on $25,000 bail.
On July 6, 2003, the Eagle County Sheriff announced that Bryant had been arrested for felony sexual assault. The shocking news spread quickly.
Turning to the news, I'm hearing these allegations. I'm like, oh my goodness, not my man.
I can't see Kobe jaywalking, let alone like sexual assault.
There was shock when these allegations arose because it didn't click with what we thought we knew about Kobe Bryant.
He was almost like this perfect person. He became imperfect now in people's mind.
The story out of tiny Eagle, Colorado led newscasts around the country. Before long, the background of the alleged victim surfaced.
She graduated from Eagle Valley High School in 2002. In high school, she was a cheerleader.
She was a member of her band. She also did a lot of acting and drama, a lot of singing and choir as well. She liked being social. She definitely liked attention.
At one point, she and another friend flew to Austin, Texas to try out for American Idol. Neither made the cut.
And I know she was really devastated about that because, you know, she doesn't want to be a star.
We have various friends who have said that she tried to overdose on pills. 2 attempts were cries for help to her on-again, off-again boyfriend at the time to get him to come back to her.
Some members of the media have brought that to light and called into question her credibility.
Kobe's reputation also took a beating.
And if you're an NBA star and you're just married and you have a kid and you're charged with rape, from a public relations point of view, it's devastating.
On July 18th, 2003, Kobe told his side of the story.
I didn't force her to do anything against her will. I'm innocent. Yeah, I love my wife with all my heart. She's my backbone. You're a blessing. Yeah, I sit here before you guys, embarrassed and ashamed for committing adultery. I've been falsely accused of something. And I'm innocent. Shoulder to shoulder, we're gonna fight this all the way to the end.
It offended some people because it appeared so staged and so calculated to prove to people that his wife was still on his side.
3 days later, Kobe was spotted buying Vanessa the ultimate apology gift.
Kobe went to a Santa Monica jewelry store and bought a $4 million diamond ring, and he gave it to his wife. There were some who believe this was a gesture to make her forgive him.
He's looking for people to say, see, if she's still with them and they've worked it out, it must be fine.
Kobe's public plays didn't stop there. On August 2nd, Bryant was sporting a new look when he attended the Teen Choice Awards.
He had the platinum and diamond crucifix. He was quoting Martin Luther King. It's like, come on, Kobe, where was all that 6 months ago?
Well, Kobe's trying to look wholesome, and he doesn't want people to think that he's a rapist. And a lot of times when you're in trouble, you turn to religion. And that's apparently what Kobe Bryant has done.
But Kobe's fate wasn't for the press to decide. On August 6, 2003, Kobe headed back to Eagle, Colorado for his advisement hearing. That afternoon, the judge announced the charge against Bryant and the consequences if he was found guilty.
If he's convicted, his sentence would be 4 years to life.
At the least, he has admitted he is an adulterer. The courts must now decide if he is a rapist.
Coming up, Kobe's future on the line.
He could spend the rest of his life behind bars.
On the night of June 30th, 2003, an encounter in a Colorado hotel room changed two people's lives forever. Kobe Bryant stood accused of sexual assault. The alleged victim became a prisoner in her own home. The small town of Eagle was still reeling from the media maelstrom when the Kobe Bryant story took a very bizarre turn. On September 18th, 2003, reports surfaced about a murder-for-hire plot.
A Swiss-born bodybuilder had approached Kobe Bryant's security and basically offered to take care of the problem. And they realized he was talking about a hit, disposing of in some form or fashion the accuser.
Kobe had absolutely nothing to do with this. He basically got this letter, and his people turned it over to the authorities, and they conducted a sting operation and put this guy behind bars.
Meanwhile, the Los Angeles Lakers geared up for a championship season after acquiring NBA All-Stars Karl Malone and Gary Payton.
Getting Mailman and Gary Payton, was going to make them a tremendously powerful team.
At the same time, there's just going to be such a distraction put on them by this whole Kobe Bryant case, and it's going to be very difficult for them to be able to focus on basketball.
Still, Kobe's teammates and the Lakers brass backed him all the way.
We want to say that management, as far as me being a Laker owner and vice president, we support Kobe 150%.
Mistakes happen. Now all he has to do is prove himself that he didn't do it, he didn't, force himself onto her and get it over with.
If I could tell him anything, I'd say keep your head up and we'll get through this together as a team.
Kobe's wife remained silent, so did his parents. On October 4th, 2003, Bryant showed up for training camp, 2 days late and sporting some new artwork.
Suddenly, he's got a bunch of tattoos on his body. He's got his baby's name on there, he's got Vanessa on there, and he has some religious reference on his shoulder. And apparently Kobe has turned to religion, and he's making a very public reference to that by having these tattoos.
5 days later, Kobe was back in a Colorado courtroom.
The preliminary hearing consisted mainly of testimony from the lead detective in the case, Doug Winters. He discussed the woman's allegations in great detail. She told the detective that Kobe Bryant bent her over a chair and forcibly had sex with her. That was powerful testimony. Then Kobe's lawyer, Pamela Mackey, dropped this bombshell in court.
She said, are these injuries consistent with someone having sex with 3 different men in 3 days.
Mackey argued that injuries found during the woman's exam could have come from multiple sexual encounters, not an attack by Bryant.
The defense was able to bring out the fact that on June 28th, 2 days before the incident at the Cordillera Resort and Spa, the accuser had sex and the guy wore a condom. Then she admits that. There's the incident with Kobe Bryant. Kobe says it was consensual sex. She says it was rape. And then, is there a third guy? Well, when the accuser went to her rape exam, not only did they find semen in her panties that did not come from Kobe Bryant, they also found pubic hair from a Caucasian.
Bryant's attorneys also took shots at other key elements of the prosecution's case.
The detective testified there were no marks on the accuser's neck, which we were led to believe. There was only a small bruise on her left jaw. There were no scratches on Kobe's body to indicate from his point of view that a struggle had taken place. There were also questions about whether the accuser had actually said no.
On October 20th, Judge Frederick Gannett announced his decision.
And after 2 days of riveting testimony, the judge determined that Kobe Bryant must stand trial.
As the hysteria surrounding Bryant's case grew, so did tension among the Lakers.
This is something that could completely blow it apart, and could be disastrous.
Bryant returned to the lineup on November 1st. In Lakerland, he was welcomed with open arms, but at away games, Kobe was booed mercilessly.
It's going to be a big distraction. It's going to be a story every time he steps foot on the court, and every time he has to go to Colorado for a hearing.
And that's exactly where Bryant was on November 13th, 2003. The hearing was Kobe's first appearance in State District Court.
It was a short hearing, and the judge ruled that Kobe Bryant can remain free on $25,000 bail.
The trial is expected to begin in the summer of 2004.
If convicted, Kobe could get 20 years probation or 4 years to life in prison. His basketball career will likely be over.
And certainly his endorsements will not just evaporate, but any chance of him having a marketing career will be gone.
Experts predict the assault case could cost Bryant more than $100 million in potential earnings.
I think by the time that jury makes its decision, he could care less about whether he's ever going to make another dime off of Sprite or Nike. He's just going to care about his freedom.
In the meantime, Kobe Bryant's future hangs in the balance.
This is not like another basketball game. This has real consequences. It won't be clean, and it won't be quick, and there won't be any heroes in it.
Even if Kobe Bryant is acquitted of this crime, he'll never be the same pristine Kobe Bryant.
No matter what happens, no one's ever going to look at him the same way again.
I just would want to know that I support him 100%. And, if you ever need somebody to talk to, then I'm here.
As long as he gets a fair trial and, the truth comes out, I wish the best.
And I believe with the help of people and their prayers that everything will turn out right for him, and for her also.
Nobody wins in this, whether that be the young lady or Kobe. And we hope that both families will recover from this.